Nothing else. It is Friday. You have that reason to jump around. Glad you're up with us here on 13 Sunrise. You're looking at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We told you that we were going to be live there this morning. It's because in 10 minutes we'll check in with Anna Chalker about who is playing in the tournament this weekend. Although IU fans, you probably already know who's coming up today.
Yeah, love all that signage there. Looks like a big event is going to happen. We've got Matt who's in right now for Chuck.
Yes, and we're talking about some weather that is going to nicen up for us. I don't think that's a word, but we're going to go with it on the Friday.
Yeah, I like it.
It's getting better.
Yes, but today things are still like a little iffy for us.
I tell you what, it's fun to come up here and have good news to
Yes.
share.
Yes,
You're really going to like the long-term forecast. Today's just the one little bump we got to get through, and then you're going to enjoy this weekend and next week. It's very busy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday across central Indiana. Of course, we've got the Big Ten women's tournament here at home. Of course, and Julia just said we have a mention there coming in from Anna here in just about 10 minutes. IU plays at noon today against USC. But there's a lot of other basketball as well. This is just a look at our high school and collegiate sports across the state. Not even talking about professional, but boys basketball sectionals all across the state. Tonight and Saturday, we had those games earlier in the week. We've been waiting for it. Big games on the line tonight, and then those championships for sectionals will be on Saturday when we head to regionals next. Girls gymnastics, they've got their regionals tonight and tomorrow. One tonight, that's hosted by Franklin Central. Good luck to the athletes there. And then to men's college basketball, Ohio State's taking on our Hoosiers. That's a big game. 3:45 tomorrow. And then, of course, all the other Big Ten Women's Tournament Championships games that are going on. And then Sunday is the big day for that championship for the Big Ten. All right, so what is the weather going to do? Anything for Saturday and Sunday. For tomorrow and Sunday, for the weekend, we're dry. And we'll have some sun. It'll be a little cool, but we'll be dry. Today's the one day we've got some rain and snow showers on the way. Not everything is reaching the ground. You do see the white popping up, but these are some snow pellets falling about 2,000 feet up. That is 3 Salesforce towers up. That's not reaching the ground for the most part. You may get a stray snow pellet there towards Shelbyville, into Rushville and Greensburg, maybe even closer to Frankfort and Clinton County there towards Lafayette, maybe a little bit. And also a few raindrops to the south and west. Very light precipitation out there this morning. Temperatures are holding close to freezing. So you may see a couple hit your windshield as you're headed out the door this morning. We're taking a look at traffic. We do have on the east side some maintenance that has been ongoing since about 2 o'clock this morning on I-465 headed to I-70 there at Shadeland Avenue, the ramp there. We've got some maintenance going on, and it looks like I-70 west to Shadeland Avenue, that is now reopened up. This is the last one. I know it's far kind of to see. This is 465 southbound's own ramp to Shadeland Avenue. Now I'm getting on I-70. That looks like it's about to reopen. Good news because traffic's getting a little bit busier now, so hopefully any kind of delay shouldn't be too bad now that things are opening up. Then we take you to Shelbyville. They're hosting a huge sectional tonight. Beech Grove, New Pal, Roncalli, and Greenwood. They're all playing there at the home of the Golden Bears in Shelbyville. We've got big sectional games all across the state. We're highlighting them this morning, but so far it is fairly dry there in Shelby County. Anne Marie?
All right, thank you, Matt. This morning, police tell us that they are still looking for a man who right now is accused of leaving his dogs outside, and when they were out in the yard, they starved to death. We want to warn you that some of the details of this story are difficult to hear.
They're pretty unsettling. Right now, a man named Thomas Nooner is facing an animal cruelty charge. Police tell us that neighbors in Beech Grove first told them about this problem. Sadly, it was a child that found the dogs dead and frozen. They were covered in snow. Officers said that the dog's water bowl nearby was also frozen.
There was a nearby heater. It didn't appear to be plugged in, and people who live nearby are shocked to hear what happened there. They believe that a simple plea for help really could have been the difference to save the animals.
Take care of them. You know, and if you just don't have that situation, you don't have an inside warm situation to get them into, give them up or ask for help.
Right now, there is a warrant out for the owner's arrest.
Well, Metro Police are looking for a driver that they believe was involved in a deadly hit and run. The crash was last weekend on East Washington near Rural Street. Police tell us they believe the car was a black 2009 to 2012 model Audi A4. And they also believe that it has driver's side windshield damage as well as damage to the driver's side in the fog light area. The crash killed Emily Martinez. Her friend shared these pictures with us, telling us that Martinez was crossing the street to get to a bus stop when she was hit. If you know anything that could help police find the suspect's car, Crime Stoppers would like to hear from you. That number is 317-262-TIPS.
This morning, we're getting some new insights into what may have led up to a homicide on the south side of Indianapolis. That's where Metro Police found the body of Demetrius Starks last month. The discovery was made inside a car that was behind the Greenwood Place Shopping Center. That's on Shelby Street near US 31. Now we're looking at the newly released court documents, and it states that the victim was shot several times. The documents also detail the shooting timeline and the questioning of a woman who was seen on video getting into the victim's car. Investigators say she admitted to being a prostitute. She also told them that the suspect in this case happens to be her boyfriend, Joshua Blackwell. Right now, he's under arrest. She says he was listening to her conversation with Starks inside the car, and she told police that her boyfriend, Blackwell, saved her life when the victim threatened to kill her.
Well, this morning, the man accused in a deadly shooting outside of a Texas Roadhouse on Indy's Southside is being held without bond.
His name is Randy Godfrey, and he's charged with the murder of another man, Robert Smith. This is the shooting that happened last Friday night near Southport Road and McFarland Boulevard. Metro Police say that Godfrey and Smith knew each other, and they got into a dispute inside the restaurant. It then went outside to the parking lot. That's where shots were fired. There was an off-duty IMPD officer who happened to be there dining at the restaurant during the time, and she held the suspect until other officers arrived and made the arrest. A trial is now scheduled for May.
We're checking in with police to see if an Avon officer is still in the hospital this morning after a crash. This was yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Ronald Reagan Parkway and Rockville Road. That's where investigators say that a car on Rockville actually T-boned that officer's car. We've learned the officer's injuries are not believed to be life-threatening, but the Hendricks County Sheriff's Department is investigating the crash. 2 people are dead this morning after a crash in Madison County. This was yesterday morning at 200 South and 825 West near Lapel. That's where police say a car pulled out in front of an SUV and caused the two to crash into each other. You know, the 2 people who died were both 49 years old and riding in the same car. The others were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. We've learned the driver of that SUV wasn't hurt.
Right now, Indiana lawmakers are debating whether or not public schools should share some of their property tax dollars with charter schools.
So they're considering a bill that would require school districts like IPS to share those tax dollars. It's not just a hot topic in the legislature, but across the state right now. Tens of dozens of people signed up to testify on that bill. We showed you that Wednesday when that meeting went past 10 p.m. A spokesperson from the Indiana Charter Innovation says that she believes this bill is about fairness.
Charter school students deserve the same resources as any other public school student, and parents shouldn't have to fight for their tax dollars to follow their child.
However, those who oppose Senate Bill 518 say there are many challenges that are facing public schools right now.
I also don't have a lot of the academic supports for a lot of my students. We had to cut back a lot of our special education services and move them around to better serve every single student in our district.
The concern from those who oppose this bill, that includes IPS Superintendent Alicia Johnson, is that the district will lose millions of dollars, lose jobs, and that many schools would be forced to close.
Well, it is a big weekend for sports here in Indy, as we've been telling you about. The women's Big Ten basketball is one of those tournaments that starts today.
That's right. IU against USC at Gainbridge Fieldhouse is one of the openers today. This comes after the Hoosiers had a good win against Oregon yesterday. Anna Chalker joins us live outside the Fieldhouse. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning to you, ladies. That IU-USC game, that is the first game of the quarterfinals today, and the Hoosiers are hoping to take momentum from yesterday's game against Oregon into today's game at noon. And those ladies, they held control of this game from start to finish on Thursday. The team hit 11 threes and forced 18 turnovers, getting that 78-62 win. And for IU, it was a chance for a do-over after a loss to the Ducks in January. This is something especially meaningful to HSE alum Cindy Parrish. She actually started her career at Oregon before transferring to IU.
It's always fun, you know, getting to compete against your old team. I think a lot of transfers feel that sometimes, but it's nice to be able to come to Indy and play it. You know, I'm from Indy, so it was kind of like, it just felt good to play. My last game against Oregon felt like home. It felt like a Hoosier crowd.
This was the Ducks' first time in the Big Ten tournament since the conference expansion, and it's also the first time for the USC Trojans, and they bring the #1 seed and the #1 player in the conference to Cambridge. We're talking about Juju Watkins, and if the Hoosiers win this afternoon, they'll most likely stamp their ticket into the big dance. And speaking of tickets for fans, there are still some available today. I checked, some for about $25 to $30, but there's also a lot to do outside of Cambridge for free. We'll have the fan zone and what you can do there coming up at 6:30.
All right, Anna, we'll see you then in about 20 minutes. Your time right now is 6:10, a tough loss for the shorthanded Pacers last night in Atlanta. They played the Hawks. The final score was 124 to 118.
The blue and gold took to the court without guards Tyrese Halliburton and Benedict Mathurin. Pascal Siakam scored 35 points to lead the way, but it was former Pacer draft pick George Niang who helped the Hawks soar to victory. He had 24 points. The two teams are back at it again, facing off tomorrow night, Saturday night tip in Atlanta. Matt?
Hey, good morning, Anne-Marie. We are tracking a couple light raindrops and even a couple snowflakes every once in a while. We have this round in the morning and then another round later this evening after sunset. How could those possibly impact us as we're headed to a lot of high school basketball sectional games? We'll talk about it. We'll time it out here in just a bit.
We'll talk about this too, Matt. Thank you. This morning, an Olympic snowboarder who is on the FBI's most wanted list. The charges that he is being accused of and the huge reward for his arrest at 6:45.
Also this morning, a tariff turnaround. While two of our closest trade partners were facing tariffs, now they're getting some extra time. We'll explain some of the changes now in the works ahead at 6:15.